Pakistan has been a country widely represented in the media as a troubled nation. The United States and Pakistan have been long-standing allies in the war against terror since 9/11. However, Pakistan has been a hotbed of political and religious unrest. Today, although the concentration of U.S.-Pakistani forces against the Taliban have led to some military gains, it has also caused serious loss of innocent Pakistani civilian lives. We further explore the crucial relationship of Pakistan and the United States on this installment of The Professors.
From across the city and the 7 city colleges of Chicago, broadcasting from 63rd and Halsted at Kennedy King College. Professors take the art of conversation to a higher degree.
Pakistani Americans have become a major contributor to American cultural and economic life. Pakistani Americans are well represented in the fields of medicine, engineering, finance, and information technology, and contribute to the growth and development of the U.S. They lie on the boundary between American assimilation and American-U.S. foreign policy. Joining us to discuss Pakistani-American foreign and domestic relations are Professor C.M. Winters Palacio from Malcolm X College, Zafar Malik of East West University, and Mujahed Ghazi of the Asian Broadcasting Network. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for being here today. Let's begin with Zafar. It's very important for our audience to know that Pakistan is not just a nation, but also a society, and perhaps the being able to place it on the map might be a bit of a stretch for many in our audience. I'm wondering if you could begin by just telling us a little bit about Pakistan itself as a country.
Yeah. Well, Pakistan is in South Asia, and I'll do clockwise maybe. Iran to its west, Afghanistan and China to its north, and India to its east, and south is Arabian Sea. Yeah. And it's about 180 million people now. Apparently, the under 25s are something like 40%.
So the generation gap, which exists in other countries like Iran, is something that carries over into Pakistan as well.
Absolutely, and it's impoverished country, although it's a nuclear power, but it's impoverished, and they've been with United States right from its inception. Whereas India initially was with USSR, Pakistan has always been a friend of United States.
So the Cold War history, 1948 is the year when Pakistan and
47.
India, 47, excuse me, was the year when Pakistan and India
got independence
from the British Empire.
From the British
and
Empire.
the Cold War politics immediately played a role. And there you saw Pakistan as an ally of the United States, while India was predominantly an ally of the USSR, or at least tried to play both against each other for a very long time.
Absolutely, for a long time. And it's only, I think, after the demise of USSR that India has really aligned itself with
more closely with the United States. And of course, Indian
and West,
Pakistani relations are very crucial here, especially the nuclear issue. When it comes to the perception of Pakistanis, especially in light of more recent events since 9/11, Pakistan's proximity to Afghanistan, Tora Bora as a place when Osama bin Laden apparently fled. Pakistan has been sort of in the forefront here of the war on terror, and therefore even the ethnic identity and the way that Pakistan is perceived and Pakistani Americans are perceived has really been rather distorted.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you could speak to maybe that perception issue.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, this is what we need to do. We need to educate our audience that Pakistani, like Zafar said, we have always been allies to the United States. We are always friends. We help each other in thick and thin, especially in this war on terror. Pakistan is the strongest ally. Actually, Pakistan is actually fighting the war of terror on its street. Recent bombings and those attacks on Pakistani properties and people, and just today, 80 people died. So
in Lahore, as we're taping, it just happened earlier.
There were bombing, grenade bombing, and gunfights, and hostage taking, and things like that. So Pakistan every day loses lives, whether they're children, they're women, or adults, old people. There is no difference. There is no difference of ethnicity. People die right and left. So if you see the borders of Pakistan, like Zafar said, that we border Afghanistan, the terrain is so difficult that it's very hard to control the passage of people across the border.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened always.
And we're talking about a mountainous region.
Mountainous region.
Very, very difficult,
very difficult
to control.
Exactly.
It always has been as well.
Been. So this war, which we actually fought against USSR with United States, what happened that instead of staying there and taking care of the aftermath of that Cold War, United States left that region. And what happened that those warlords, they became independent, and that extremism actually swept into Pakistan.
And so we see this kind of, it's not, as you point out, an ethnic split between various Pashtuns, because Pakistanis are not Arabic. We have to say that too. It's an Islamic country,
let me clearly say this. What happens that every time there is a bomb attack or a terror attack, all Pakistanis get worried that, oh my God, now the media is going to bring up Pakistan and Islam
as some unified front.
It is not like that. This is all terrorism. There are terrorist organizations with radical, ideologies. They can be Christian radicals. They can be Jewish radicals. Similarly, Pakistan is facing this terrorism, in the forefront of its politics. So they are not Sunnis. They are not Shias. They are not Ahl Hadiths, we call. So they are terrorists.
But there is a fear of Talibani control of Pakistan, especially in relation to the nuclear question.
It is actually out of question. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
because
please.
Majority of the Pakistanis are very educated people. They are the people who are in control. And
much like here in the United States.
Exactly. In the United States, and people who are intellectual circles in Pakistan, political circles in Pakistan, and Pakistan's nuclear assets. One of the person was here recently, and we were talking it was not a public event. And he gave a detailed account on how Pakistan's nuclear assets are safe. It is very difficult to go into it and get those nuclear assets.
I think it's blown out of context, always, this fear, we are always talking about, Taliban taking over. Pakistan is, despite it being poor, it's a very organized in many ways. Army is a huge institution, and it, unfortunately,
largest standing army in the world.
Unfortunately for Pakistan, that's the case, because I think it's been a curse that the military is so strong and that. But on the other hand, you look at it. I mean, if Pakistan had not been a nuclear power, there are many Pakistanis who say that thank God for us being a nuclear power, because otherwise United States would have walked in like it walked into Iraq and Afghanistan. And as Mujahid said earlier, Pakistan has been bearing brunt of the Soviet Union clash in Russia. We had over 6 million refugees at one point, and we still had them when this latest round started.
And so
something like 2-3 million.
That region of Kashmir is where much of the fighting between India and Pakistan still exists.
India and Pakistan, of course, there's a difference.
There's a conflict there that's taking place.
That's another conflict.
Right.
But I think this
and that's
was,
in the northern portion of the country.
This was in the northwest frontier, bordering Afghanistan, where these refugees had come in when the Soviets had walked into, and something like 3 million stayed. And Pakistan being a very, very poor country. I mean, some friend was telling me at one point that the economy of Illinois is bigger than that of Pakistan. Pakistan has 180 million
and they're
people.
taking in this this kind of population transfer.
Absolutely.
But there's still the controversy over nuclear, particularly A.Q. Khan and his network of involvement. We have to talk about that to some degree, because we are talking about something that's been on the forefront of concern for American U.S. policy. And for that reason, I'm going to go to CM at this point. When it comes to the Obama administration and the policies, many of the personalities are very much the same. The same Secretary of Defense. General Petraeus is now involved in policy, strategic policy throughout the region, not just in Afghanistan, but in also Iraq, as well as in Pakistan. The amount of money that the United States has historically given to Pakistan has been in the billions annually, economic and military. So it's a very, very important country, yet the regional politics seem to be very similar to the Bush administration. I'm wondering if you see it that way, or is there a more nuanced way of looking at the way the Obama administration is affecting its policy in the region that might give us some difference between what's going on now and what happened under George Bush?